Hey, Brandon Gentili here. Bank holiday. Counterparty risk will be the phrase we need to learn. We've seen banks shut down during times of crisis or bank runs, bank holidays, just conveniently, like they're chilling, sipping Mai Tais on the beach, just when you need them most. We all know of times like that, whether it was 9/11, other big events and chaos when it's taking place. Banks just seem to be out of reach. We've seen that in the crypto exchanges and the liquidity events here when crypto exchanges are being shut down or the withdrawals are being frozen so they can try to prevent bank runs. We've seen out the stock market and the timer. There's certain drops that happen at certain amounts of time. They shut the trading down. This is all just to prevent the elites from getting overrun. Really, at the end of the day, it's to prevent those people from losing, and you are the ones that lose in the end. So we've seen banks confiscate what's in safety deposit boxes like gold, Executive Order 6102, 1933. So we've seen those things happen over and over again when they're your things. However, when you go and enter an agreement with them and you go deposit your cash with them, it now becomes theirs. And these are little things that, again, most folks don't know. We've seen presidents kicked off of social media. We've seen conservative people targeted by the IRS. We've seen shadow banning and gaslighting. Who's to say that phone companies or cable companies will not target your internet connection or shut off your phone in the future? And again, this will be even easier with central bank digital currencies. This will be just the flick of a switch. Very, very simple to do. Very quick, very easy, shutting down your bank accounts. We don't live in your grandfather's world anymore. We're not in Kansas anymore. And that's just some of the stuff we know about, quite honestly. Why are we trusting everyone else with our wealth and our survival? Sheriffs, on that front, and attorney generals will be huge beacons or conduits for freedom in the future. Sheriffs are there to uphold the Constitution no matter what, and attorney generals are there to protect you from the government as well. So we see them being voted in and just, lockstep, and the government gets put in, and they just put their buddy in a lot of times. However, that's not how it's supposed to be. Just like the state senate or the senators are supposed to be chosen by the government, and the representatives are chosen by the people. We've gotten so far away from how we were founded, and people wonder why. Oh, the capitalism is awful and it doesn't work. This system is broken. Yeah, it is broken because it's nowhere even close to what we had intended it to be and what it was. We had states' rights. We've had more states' rights and states getting more power here over the last year or two, fortunately. But we federalized so many of the things in our life that it's just top down. People in D.C. trying to run everyone's life in every corner of the country, which that doesn't work. The locales are what know best, and that's where we need to decentralize the power. Hence why we talk about Bitcoin so much. We're seeing the swing back towards decentralization in life, in every walk of life, whether it's money, whether it's the states, governments. Decentralization is really what gets us out of these messes. Again, why put your fate in a few counterparties, though? This goes for both sides of the aisle. When you have violent swings in markets because of unsound money and a lack of faith within humanity, being some big ones, people begin to act like caged animals and they start to do wild things. The population tends to start voting in their own strongmen, people that can come in and do their bidding for them and regain what is rightfully theirs. And whether that's true, sometimes sometimes those things are true, and sometimes they're not, that are rightfully theirs, and they're being stolen from them, like Cyprus. Down here, an article clip from 10 years ago, when Cyprus came in, bailed the bail-ins, and they just took the money, skimmed the money right off people's bank accounts. And again, it's not your money when it's in the bank anymore. It's not your currency anymore. It's legally the bank's. They can do whatever they want with it. Go gamble with it, take it from you. It's theirs. People that can come in, do their bidding, and regain what's theirs. And again, this isn't the first time, it won't be the last time it happens in a society or an empire. Counterparty, or trust in someone else, I believe, is a term we have to understand and come to grips with. When we put our cash in the bank, we enter a counterparty relationship with that bank, where depositor is the creditor. So when you go to put cash in, like we were saying before, you are now the creditor, and the bank has become a debtor. So the bank owes you back that cash. The bank is a counterparty, and we are trusting that they'll have that cash for us when we come back. Could be later that day or could be 10 years from now. And we are trusting that they will freely give it back to us upon our arrival, whenever that is. When we accept a dollar bill as well, we enter a counterparty relationship and trust that it will be worth something when we wake up tomorrow, that the government will still be worth something. Are you accepting the the Deutschmark or in German hyperinflation? Are you expecting the dollar? Are you expecting a peso back? What are you expecting exactly? And when do you expect it back? And do you expect it to be worth something? And here's a clip from Cyprus from 10 years ago, when they just came in and bailed in the accounts. And instead of a bailout from the outside and just inflating your currency away, they just came in directly, took it from the people. And these are all just little power plays, a little tests that people are doing. So, everyone was watching these things, just like what happened with Russia and Ukraine when America froze the assets, the dollar assets of Russia earlier this year. People are watching that. China's watching that. Russia saw that. Iran saw that. All these countries are watching this and saying, "Yep, we're out of that. We're out of that system. We're now not a node on this network anymore." So every time a node leaves that network, whether it's Bitcoin, whether it is Facebook, or whether it's a user leaves and deletes their account, whether it's a dollar, someone using the dollar, and they say, "Nope, I'm not in this anymore," that value of that network then decreases. So again, a super important point to really recognize and talk about, because it's just, it really isn't. You're not going to turn on the media and talk about these things. So the value of that network, meaning the value of that dollar, if nodes are leaving that network, if users on that network are not trusting it, whether it's you and I, or whether it's a nuclear power, if we're saying, "Nope, I'm not part of the system anymore, I am not doing this," then that network, that dollar loses value, that network loses value. So again, the larger point to understand is that you cannot and should not have all your investments tied up in one asset class. And here, again, I just simply typed in, what asset class do most people invest in? And here we have 145 million results: stocks, bonds, and cash. Most folks are generally invested in the paper asset class, thinking they're diversified. Well, I am diversified. I'm in stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs, pensions, 401ks, and IRAs. However, and you can include cash in there as well, obviously, in the paper class. However, like we just said, if that's losing value, those are all denominated in dollars. So if that's losing value and people are leaving that network, that means those dollars are losing value. And that means the bond prices are going to go up, because the dollar is losing value, really, at the end of the day, which is squeezing the rest of the world. And because a lot of their debts are paid in dollars. So that's why we're seeing craziness start to happen throughout the world, and it's starting to come here. Well, it's going to happen there first, because they're having to pay back more expensive dollars, because the rates are going up. It's like having a variable rate on your house and just going up every single day as the dollar increases in strength. But it's only relative to other currencies. Remember, the dollar is losing value when you measure it against things of real value. When you measure the dollar against other currencies, of course, it might look like it's going up. But when you measure it against gold or silver or Bitcoin, it's losing value and getting crushed long term. So again, most folks are in this asset class in one. They're not diversified. They think they're diversified. They're told to diversify, but that's just in one asset class. That's in some different stocks, in different companies inside stocks, or they're in some different bonds, some 10 years, some 30 years, some 1 year treasuries. However, to be truly diversified, we want to be in different asset classes. That's why I just shared one of our yesterday, our monthly blog and video update. We shared our portfolio, what we are invested in, what I believe is diversification, which is being the five different asset classes: business, real estate, commodities, so gold and silver, having some cash, and have some stocks, some paper, obviously, and Bitcoin. And being in those different classes are really what you want to be in. So I don't know. Again, I don't know if I just mentioned all, I'm losing my mind here, but real estate, business, paper, commodities, gold and silver, and Bitcoin. So yeah, those are the five, and you want to be spread out throughout those asset classes, because those are all going to hinge and hedge each other. And we're not going to get into more hedging today, but you could do things like, I'm going to invest in the SPY or something like that, or QQQs. I'm going to invest in the market long term, and you could put some shorts. You could say, I'm going to short this. I'm going to invest in some short ETFs or something like that, where you can kind of hedge and put a small hedge there. So in case you're wrong, that hedge will go up, and that short might go up and offset your losses in the QQQs, for example. And again, this is not financial advice. I'm just giving you an example, but most people aren't doing that in their 401ks. They're not doing that in that one asset class they're in. And then they're just riding the market up and down. And so 10, 12 years ago, people lost everything right before they're about to retire. Well, that same thing is happening again now. And people are wondering what's going on. They're starting to lose their mind. And you see more and more violence. You see more and more people with short tempers. You're seeing it all over the news. It's all we see. You're inundated every day with bad things going on. It's because we're not in control. And again, you can't control everything in life, but we can control some of these things. We are given the ability, God's highest form of creation. We're given a mind, the ability to think, and a lot of folks just aren't thinking. They're just outsourcing their thinking. They're letting someone else, they're letting counterparties just run their life, make the decisions for them, or invest for them. and really have no idea what's going on. And then they wonder why. So again, all vehicles that contain counterparty risk, insofar as you have to trust someone else with your wealth when you call on it, and like the paper asset class. In order to be truly wealthy, you must have at least something outside the system. Again, your stock account, your trading account can be frozen. Your bank account clearly can be frozen. Your cash, your 401k could be frozen. Your insurance company could decide not to pay you out. Bond yields could be worthless in 10 years, in 5 years, in 30 years. Is that currency going to be worth anything? They'll just pay you out in worthless pieces of paper. Who cares? Property could be taken from you, or eminent domain, or whatever the government wants to decide. Then you're in court with them. I mean, good luck fighting. You're guilty until proven innocent. Or the property taxes could just increase until you can't afford it anymore. If they really want what you have. Optimum planning would include energy sources like gas, solar, hydro, food and water, storage, guns and ammunition, gold and silver, Bitcoin, hard physical cash stored away to be truly independent and resilient. Starlink satellite and Bitcoin, the Bitcoin satellite by Blockstream, to hopefully have internet connection to the world if need be. Again, I'm not paid. I'm not an affiliate for Blockstream, but I have a video down here, the unboxing of the Blockstream satellite, so you can link up to the Bitcoin, the blockchain, and Starlink as well. I actually had that in order as well. So that's just things to do to be prepared. These are all items that can sustain life, that you can own. Can't spell, that you own and you sustain life. And I believe down to my core that the more people that can be truly hardened and resilient, say another 5, 10, 20% of the population, it will totally change the dynamics of the United States of America overnight. Instead of voting for politicians that promise you things and give you free stuff, we will vote to kick out these cronies and elect leaders who will stay out of our business. Leaders who govern by the consent of the people instead of the other way around. Every time we vote for more free stuff, more security, or more regulations, we concede a little bit of our freedoms. The government doesn't just do all of that by the goodness of their heart. It asks you for a piece of your freedom and your soul, and it gains that control over you for each thing you ask it to do. This is a simple math equation, and one that we've been on the losing side for many years. Hence why every time you flip on Instagram, you're seeing people run around the streets stealing stuff out of stores, and no one doing anything about it, whether it's New York City, whether it's Minneapolis, whether it's any city in California. As Vladimir Lenin and Joseph Stalin said, debauch the currency to bring down capitalism. And slowly we will feed you socialism little by little. And one day you will wake up and have communism. And I'll leave you with one more Thomas Jefferson quote. If the American people ever allow private banks to control the issue of their currency, first by inflation, then by deflation, the banks and corporations that will grow up around them will deprive the people of all their property until their children wake up homeless on the continent their fathers conquered. Remember, Klaus Schwab, the World Economic Forum, the Marxist in this world, Karl Marx, wrote about 170 years ago, wrote about the abolishment of all private property. It's a Marxist communist way where the government owns everything in your life and you own nothing. You are a serf. You are just a pawn in the game. You're just a pawn in the network. You are just a number to them, and you'll be treated as such, a prisoner of the state. Stay strong. This is the time, as Thomas Paine says, that tries men's souls. Wish all of us good luck. I'm praying for everyone as well. Again, if you like this content and what we are doing here, trying to promote freedom as much as we can and be outside the system, be in the system too. I don't have everything outside the system as well, but we have to be somewhat outside the system. As we just saw, most people are in the system, completely in the system, have no resilience, no independence, and are constantly asking the government to do more. And as Kennedy said, let's ask what we can do for the government and not the other way around, right? Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. We have gotten a long, long way. The Democrat Party and really everybody has come a long, long way in the last 60 years since he said that. So what can we do to better ourselves, leave the place better than we found it? What can we do? Well, we can take care of what we control. We can take care of our family. We can take care of ourselves and the people around us. And that will then flood out and disseminate out throughout the culture. So appreciate you. If you like this, like I said, please like and subscribe to their blog, to the YouTube channel. Please share with anyone that you know that might like this. And then other videos, like I said, we have our recession video, our portfolio update that we just did. Check that on the videos previously here in the stream and then also on the blog, the foreclosure predictions, Bitcoin and the American Revolution, and some proof that we're all being divided. Again, if you watch, and I laid out the last 2 straight years of every single month of every single thing the media is trying to distract you about. Instead of getting ready and getting prepared and getting resilient and independent, they're just trying to distract you so that they can do bread and circus, have the Colosseum like the Romans did, and just usurp freedoms and steal your freedoms and liberties off to the side behind the Colosseum. And this has just been played out over and over again. This is not me making this up. This is just all throughout history. This is what's being done. And then I lay out the last 2 months, a couple of days ago, we laid out this every single month. There's just a new thing to be fear-mongered about, a new thing to be crazy about, a new thing to fight the red versus blue, left versus right about, and to get ticked off about, so that way you don't have time to prepare. And they can just lead you around by the nose to wherever they want you to go. So please like and subscribe. This is my call to action, and just in bettering the people, the things around us, and that will disseminate out into the culture if we take care of what we can control. So I appreciate your time and your energy. It's the most important asset we have, truly, talking about assets. And like I said, please like and subscribe if you so choose. And it helps us, obviously. If you don't like it, please push dislike. Please comment what you like and you don't like, so it helps us grow and get better, provide better content for you. We'll see you on the next one.